ongoings of the Taylorville School District. All right, let's start off with this last weekend. Tommy TV, second annual Tommy Awards. Did you get to go and see that?
Did I?
Oh, man.
What an exciting event. So our students run a TV station, and the mentor for the program has been Adam Vokes, and then the teacher in the program is Neil Hohenstein. And the whole concept is that it's student-led program, and it's through our career tech education department at Taylorville High School. Anyway, the kids just have a terrific program in place. So what they've created is a year-long project called the Tommy Awards, and it's kind of like the teacher Oscars. And what they do is they take nominations for teachers that are outstanding and educators and community members, and then they honor them under this glitz. It is incredible. So they do snippets, they do interviews. You get a little bit insight into the educators' classroom and impact and their backstory. And there were 3 in each category. And then the winner gets announced, and they open the envelope. And the MCs were phenomenal. We had a couple of juniors MC this year, Miley Sims, and you might recall she was just in the lead in Annie. She was the nasty marm that ran the orphanage. It's just phenomenal. And then she was on the stage in Glitz, and along with her was Drew Mickey, and he's delightful. If you haven't had the experience of him leading a program, you need to take a look at that. He's super talented. So it was really fun, and it was great to see the honor placed upon deserving educators. Very proud of the kids, very proud of the program, and I'm super, super proud of all nominees and all awardees.
The purple carpet show, as would, I believe, Sophie Robinson would describe it. It looked as much. It looked like it was the Academy Awards out there. Another thing that went on earlier this week and also later this week, CEO, Creating Entrepreneurial Opportunities, is in the middle of wrapping up their year. I know that's kind of a separate from the school district, but what can you say about how the CEO program and it benefits Taylorville School District?
Oh, it's just a phenomenal opportunity for students. So again, our teacher, Neil Hohenstein, is the teacher for the CEO program, and it serves all kids in Christian County. So Taylorville has got 20 students in the program, and then there's students from surrounding communities as well. The kids create businesses. They create a group business to fundraise, and then it's seed money that's generated for each of them for their individual businesses. So the kids learn all types of things related to running a business. And then they meet a lot of business leaders in the community. They're assigned mentors. And so it's a step into adulthood, into real world, and just the growth. I've been very close to both Tommy TV and to the CEO program and know the kids really well. We took a trip to Chicago, a field trip, and looked at the Berry Brothers businesses and had our kids at the boardroom table. But just the exposure and the experience into real world, it's incredible. This Saturday at the Christian Church midday, there's a business expo. So they are going to be there showcasing their businesses, but they're real operational businesses. And the thing probably I'm most proud of is our kids do real work. I mean, they're impressive.
They are. And I've had the privilege to speak to them before, and they're all so bright, and they're coming in another time before the show Saturday. And by the way, that show starts at 1:00 at you mentioned the church, the Christian church. I believe it's the Trinity Lutheran Church. Well, I'll have to double check that. Anyway, moving down the line. No, Taylorville Christian Church Fellowship Hall. All right, now we're moving on. Go on out, though. It's free, and public is invited to attend. Moving down the line a little bit. Tornado Appreciation Award winners. Tell me who they were.
So we had Nella Polly, Zeddy Colebrook, Liv Havera, and Teresa Hilton, and they're nominated by teachers. And this group of students was nominated at Taylorville High School for being helpful in class, looking for character traits, outstanding students.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit more about one of the things I noticed last night at your school board meeting is you had a slew of hirings. I guess it is hiring season for the upcoming school year. Are you still looking for positions to fill at this time?
We are. And as you know, there's been a shortage of educators. So we are we are we are hiring on more of an ongoing basis than what you'd seen in the past in education. Used to be you would hire and have your staff in place prior to summer, and then you'd have them for the full year. We've had turnover, and it's a little bit different game. It's hard to get people certified, and it's hard to get young people interested in the field. So right now we are currently looking for mathematics teachers, special education teacher, paraprofessionals. Um, and we're hiring a fifth grade teacher as well. And we are meeting with my staff tomorrow to make sure that we've got the right enrollment numbers and the right number of sections and that type of thing. It's a little bit of a moving target, and we meet monthly on it. So we're just shoring that up and the plan for who's going to teach what.
Mm-hmm. I'm skipping over a little bit of old business that I want to cover in the next segment, which involves the building committee. We're going on to new business. I've seen this in the agenda for the school board a few times. I'm hoping I can get your explanation a little bit. What is this press policy, capital PRESS, that you have to continue to read throughout the school year?
So the school board really has two main functions. They hire the superintendent and they set policy. And policy is what Springfield decides for legislation and the rules that come out of that on school law. So it's what schools have to do to comply with law. And it again is a moving target. Springfield right now is writing a few new laws, but this is the most recent update of laws. It should happen 2-3 times a year. It's been happening more recently. We just completed an update and then got an email the next day for the next update.
Oh,
So this is update number 111. So we keep current on press policy, and that keeps the district legal, and it keeps ourselves in line with the law adjustments.
well, what are some of the legislation that might be coming down the line over the next school year? I heard something about yoga.
Yeah. So we've got mandated minutes for PE. We've got mandated minutes for recreation and just free recess for kids. The next piece that they're coming forth is they want mindfulness, meditation, or yoga, something to calm people down on a weekly basis. So that's being proposed. So we'll see if that comes through. Interestingly, we do a lot of things that just make sense because we care about kids. And at Taylorville High School, we just created a class, and it's an alternative PE class, and it has these practices embedded in it. But it's for, just for personal growth to help people develop on a personal level.
Yeah. That is Superintendent of Taylorville School District, Dr. Chris Doherty, here on the WTIM Morning Show. More from her after a short time out right here on WTIM, your information station. WTIM.
Your information station, WTIM.
It's the WTIM morning show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville. You'll always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. You'll find streams on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook or WTIM TV YouTube. Superintendent of Taylorville School District, Dr. Chris Doherty, in studio right now, and she's coming off a school board meeting, and during every school board meeting, she provides a superintendent update. And during that superintendent update last night, Dr. Doherty, you mentioned something about the online safety of students and how you've had to have a couple of meetings with the Taylorville Police Department trying to keep students safe about their online activity. Now, we don't need to get too much into the weeds of what exactly is happening that's between you guys and the Taylorville Police Department, but I want to know where oftentimes the police department and or the school district are seeing these. What kind of applications are causing trouble for kids on social media?
Basically, there's too much liberty once kids leave school. At school, we've got parameters set up, and we have a tool called Gaggle that's a gatekeeper, and kids can't get to content that's not safe. We get alerts and it gets shut down. When they leave school, that doesn't exist. And so supervision is not what it was in households with technology. So kids are in dangerous territory, and often they don't even understand it. They could be connecting with somebody who's pretending to be somebody else on the other end, and they could be sharing content that ends up getting them in legal trouble. And whether it's innocent or whether it's just who they're hanging around with and what they're doing and what applications, but parents really need to get on those devices, set some parameters, and take a look at who they're communicating with and what the content is on a routine basis, and set some limits. Like, kids should not have devices when they go to their bedroom and go to bed. There should be some charging station in a household, perhaps in an office or a kitchen, and there's a bedtime for the device so that kids can get rest and kids can be monitored when they're using. People really need time in nature. So I'm going to ask parents to work with their kids to get them outside playing and interacting with people and off devices.
I know there are some cases where you can, and I'm speaking here to the parents, you can turn off Wi-Fi at a certain time every night, maybe have it set to 9 o'clock. You'd probably have to discuss it with whoever your internet service provider is. That's just an idea. Anyway, off of my soapbox for a moment. Are we talking like Snapchat? Or are we talking Instagram here? Where are oftentimes some of the problem applications?
So that's where it starts. It starts with texting. It starts with Snapchat, starts with Instagram. But then what kids are doing is they're adding extensions that allow different activity from the original intent of those apps. And some of the content they're getting involved in, they shouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, and I think you mentioned it. You're going to start emphasizing the importance of supervision too, and you're going to start educating the public. Tell me a little bit more about how you plan to do that.
Yeah, so we plan to have some group sessions, some home sessions, some small group sessions, and different events and just alerts. We're going to send out some videos and some flyers, and then have some in-person meetings too, so that people understand the potential dangers and some look-fors so they can help guide their kids. We know parents want to be involved. Parents are very busy with work schedules, but just some simple tips. The police are going to partner with us too, and some teachers will partner with us so we can get that done and really support parents so that they make better choices with their kids regarding tech.
Well, and this will be my last question before we move on. Do you feel at all that with the potential of this being, an issue, that it can lead to other problems, like such as bullying or even worse?
Sure. Kids go through ages and stages in growth, and they partner up with different people and they share personal content, and then they fall out of that friend group or they break up. And then the wrong person has personal information about you and they can use it against you, or you can perceive it that way and you get very angry. So we really want to intervene so that personal things aren't shared, and so that retaliation and that anger doesn't follow that. But we also want to give people skills to address when those problems do arise so the wrong response doesn't come out. a violent response. We do not want to have a violent response to something that's occurred over social media.
Well, moving on, it's the end of the school year. You have a lot of stuff coming up here. Go ahead and give me an overview. What are you looking forward to over the next month or so?
Well, we're in wrap-up phase. We're making
Mhm.
sure that kids have all their grades for their credits. So parents at home, this is push time. At the end, just like the end of a marathon or the last leg of a relay race, it's the most important one. You really got to kick it. So have them kick it. So, that we're starting to be daylight longer, so kids aren't getting the rest that they need. So watch that bedtime. Make sure homework's done. Make sure their credits and their scores are as good as they possibly can be. A little bit of extra effort at the end makes a significant difference. So our teachers are doing the same thing. So kids are doing the same thing, teachers are doing the same thing, and we're planning the big events. We're planning senior night, we're planning graduation, we're planning closure activities. The junior high is going to come over and take a look at the high school. We've got shadow days, and that's happened also from North to Memorial. And we're just planning orientation. We're planning registration. We'll have online registration opened up after school shuts down. So kind of close this season down, get ready for the next season. We got some really important training for our teachers and staff this summer. We're taking a part of a project called Avid, and it just is a really good training. It teaches organizational skills, it teaches thinking skills, reading, writing. So just amazing training that the kids are going to start to see the benefit of.
Mhm. And I almost neglected to highlight the building committee and how that's going. What kind of news would you like to share in terms of the building committee?
So the building committee has two things that are going on. The demolition is underway for the east wing at the high school, and we're having a brick sale there. It's run through the sports and fine arts committees. So there are bricks available if you want a piece of history. They're pretty reasonable. I think they're $20. So get a hold of one of those bricks. That's the demo. And then there's bid opening that's coming up for the classroom edition.
All right. And if you could characterize the way the school year went, Dr. Doherty, how would you?
Fast. It's incredibly fast. So make sure you get the most out of every day and every moment with your kids, because it just goes so fast.
Mhm. Anything else that you'd like to add before you go?
Just super excited to see everybody end the year on a successful note.
Yeah, and with some hopefully good weather to boot.
Hopefully good weather. The sunshine's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is fantastic. One more question. When is commencement for you?
We have graduation, traditional in the gym, on May 19th at 6 p.m. And following it is a twilight parade. We started that during the pandemic. It was so incredible that the students asked that we keep it. So we were keeping the parade. So everybody come out and wave on the graduates.
That is Superintendent of Taylorville School District, Dr. Chris Doherty. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville. You'll always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first.
WTIM.